Now we're going to look at selecting shapes. So to begin, we're going to select File, Browse and Bridge, and we're going to open our shapes image. So let's go down, select the shapes image, and you'll see just a few basic shapes have been drawn here. Now, to create a perfect circle or square, all you have to do is select either the Marquee or the Shape Builder tool and hold down your Shift key and drag, and a perfect square, or if you have the elliptical Marquee, a perfect circle is selected. Command D to undo. But first what we want to do is we're going to select this rectangle here. So I'm going to zoom in. Alright, so before we get started, the first thing I want to do is duplicate this later. So Command J. Now I am going to click and drag, but we need to make sure I have my Polygonal Lasso Tool selected. Now, click, come across, and again, you're just clicking each time you reach a different part of your image. When you go to close it, you'll see that circle appears. And there's your selection. When you have the selection made, you need to hit Command J, and then you rename that layer Green Rectangle. Okay, select my Move tool, and next I'm going to do my yellow ellipses. So using the Polygonal tool won't really work well with these corners. So Command D to deselect. I can try to use the Lasso tool, and remember, all I have to do is click and drag around the area, but this is really too organic of a shape. Precision is not really possible or easily possible with just the basic Lasso tool. And so Command D to undo that, and we could try the Elliptical Marquee tool. I could come up here and click and drag and just keep trying to get the exact shape that way. It's a little more difficult than you think it's going to be. So Command D to undo that. And so the next thing I'm going to try is a magnetic lasso tool. So select your magnetic lasso tool, and then from the inside, just kind of drag around the edge of the yellow ellipses until you get up to the end here. When you're ready for them to make a closed selection, the circle appears. Click on that. Now I need to make sure I'm on the right layer, so I'm going to come back to layer 1, hit Command J, and now I have my yellow ellipses. So rename that layer Yellow Ellipses. Hit Enter. Select layer 1, and next we are going to do the orange shape in the lower left hand corner. So we're going to select your choice, Polygonal Lasso or Magnetic Lasso. Either one will work. See what happens if we use the Magnetic Lasso here. This one's pretty simple. We just kind of stop on all the corners. No, have to be careful, because look what happens if you're like I am and get kind of messy. Then it can make your life a lot more difficult. But when I get to the end, you can see the circle appears, and so you click and your selection is made. Now, I can go in and I can clean up that selection with either my quick selection tool or my magic wand tool. I'm going to select the quick selection tool, hold down my shift key to add to my selection, or you can go up here and you can select the add to selection option in the option panel up here, and then I'm just going to click and drag on the area that I want to add to the selection. Now right here I want to remove from my selection, so I'm going to hold down my Alt or Option key, and I am going to click in the areas that I want to remove the selection, and it will be removed. And you just continue, and you're going to, until you get used to doing things, you're going to see where you make some mistakes. I can zoom in. We can see I've got a few issues here. Right here at the bottom is one of them, so I can hold my shift key down and select that area. Select this area here over to the right. Make sure that I've got a nice clean border. And then right here, remove some of this blue where it comes out right along this edge. When you have your orange selection made, make sure you're on layer 1 and hit Command or Control J to create a new layer. Now we're going to name this layer. We're going to name it Orange Octagon. Hit Enter. Move over, and we're going to do the circle next. First thing you do is select layer 1. We're going to also use the magnetic lasso tool for this selection. Click and drag along the inside edge of the pink circle, being careful as much as you can as you come around the edge. It's okay if you do like I just did and miss a couple of areas, because we know that we can go back when you get to the end. The circle will appear when it's closed. Release, and your selection appears. Now, to add to the selection, you can select your magic wand, and you can hold down Shift to add, or the Alt or Option key to subtract. And so what you see me doing here is just Shift clicking to add, or Alt Option clicking to subtract. Once you have a nice clean selection made of your circle, you're on layer 1, you're going to hit Command or Control J, and then you're going to rename that layer Pink Circle. Now select layer 1 again. We're going to move up, and we have this shape. Let's try to use the Polygonal Lasso Tool for this one, since it's all straight angles. And there we go. Make sure you have layer 1 selected. Hit Command or Control J. Rename it Cyan Shape. Hit Enter. And we're going to zoom out just a little bit so we can see the entire document. And notice that when you command click in the thumbnails over here in your layers panel, it will make a selection around your shape or whatever is contained within that layer. So if I command or control click the cyan shape, you'll see it is selected, the pink circle is selected, etc. for every single one of the shapes. Do File, Save as. Make sure that you are in the correct folder. You're going to name this 4B and your last name underscore shapes.psd. Select save, and that concludes 4B.